Good morning, race fans. Episode 11 of the Announcer Booth Podcast hitting the airwaves here again. Scotty Too Hottie and Evan Pour and Pray here with ya.
Hey, how's it going this morning, buddy?
It's going good, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
What do we got?
Hey, this week on the show, we got a couple late model street stock drivers. Yes, you heard me right. Late model street stock. That would be none other than Evan Miller and Aaron Foote, along with our question of the week. What's the craziest decision you've made in the offseason?
We got a great show coming up here on the Announcer Booth Podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. And good morning, race fans. Episode 11 is here, and yes, double digits once again. That means we only have got 4 shows left here for season number 2. Evan, can you believe it? Episode 11, 4 shows left here for the off season.
It's been quick.
It has been quick. I mean, we've taken some breaks here and there, spending time with family, and you had surgery. I was sick a couple times, and so we've taken some breaks, which were much needed. Don't get me wrong, but just like that, it seems like we're coming to an end.
I'm gonna be sad.
Well, don't be sad though, because season 2 might be coming to an end. But you know what that means? Racing season is right around the corner. Exactly. Right around the corner is racing season. And speaking of the 2022 season, man, we've got a great show today. We got a couple of young guns on the show today, and both of them late model street stock drivers. I'll say that one more time. Late model street stock drivers. Late models and street stocks, usually you do not find those in the same sentence, yet alone describing one class of car.
Talking to you about this, before these interviews and then with these guys in these interviews, I want to drive one.
They are a lot of fun to watch in person, and I can only imagine what it's like driving one. And you'll hear it later on the show, as a comparison when we talk with Evan Miller and Aaron Foote. But the closest comparison that I can make to it would be like a Wasota Super Stock. So if those of you just Google a Wasota Super Stock, you'll see what that looks like. Then Google late model street stock. Yes, it will pop up on Google. I've already tried this, and I've sent stuff to Evan just so he's familiar with the type of car that we're talking about. And there is a difference in like suspension, motor, and whatnot, but just looking at them, they almost look like the same type of car.
Yeah. And in the interview with Evan, I know I had fun confusing you the whole time with that one.
Thank you for that, by the way.
I kind of asked him, a little bit about it, try to his take on what they were like. So I kind of gave it a shot, so the listeners here and people down in my neck of the woods that have never heard of it actually kind of know what it looks like a little bit.
And I know you're looking at possibly coming up here or making the Raceway Park date that the Late Model Street Stock Touring Series has, because otherwise they do run a few tracks, with the Touring Series, but the class itself, you only see them at I-90 Speedway in Hartford, South Dakota, and the legendary Foote Speedway in Brandon, South Dakota. And it is a very competitive class, and a class that almost was extinct a few years ago, but then finally came back when I-90 and Foote resumed action there in 2019 and 2020. And it's this class, like we said, it's real fun to watch. And Evan, I know when you see this class in person, hopefully in 2022 here, you're just going to be even more amazed at what these cars can do and just how competitive the class really is.
I've been sitting here thinking this whole time, I'm going to try to get to drive one, hot lap one. I want to do it.
As in, driver comparison, the car that you would probably fit in would probably be Corey I.
If I got to pay a little bit of money to run one, to hot lap it, I'll do it, man. They look fun.
I'd have to find myself a fire suit because I'd honestly love to hot lap one too. Corey, if you're listening, I do know you have an extra car. At least I think you have an extra car yet. You're two big guys are looking at just hot lapping just to see what it's like. And I guess if we do wreck stuff, we'll pay for it. I mean, it's only fair.
Oh, yeah, I'll pay for it. Make sure they take out the infield tractor tires because I'm pretty good at finding those.
I-90 Speedway does not have infield tractor tires. We have K barriers over at I-90.
Even better. I promise I'm joking. I will not wreck your car.
And Houston's has an inside berm followed by K barriers on top of that. So, no, it's this class is you will hear us say us in these interviews. It's really unique, and the way this car drives. Zach Olivier, we had him on the show earlier this year, and Evan, I know you were unable to be a part of that interview, but listening to that interview, they got a lot more power than a stock car, and they're easier to drive, Zach said, than a hobby stock or a stock car. I'm thinking, okay, how? But I've heard other drivers in the class, like Colby Clausen was one of the rookies this year too. He comes from a stock car background. And he said these cars drive a lot tighter, but they're a lot more fun to drive. And
drive tighter? Sign me up.
Yes.
I love a tight race car.
Yes, I know you love a tight race car. I've seen the footage, and I still can't believe how you can drive that tight of a hobby stock. But they drive a lot tighter, but they're so much fun to drive, and they're really competitive. You will see 18 to 22 cars a week at I-90 Speedway, and if not, just a little bit more at Houston's as well on Sunday nights during the regular racing season. This class is it's starting to grow a little bit, and with it being broadcasted on Dirt Vision when they're at Houston Speedway, there are people across country that, hey, they know what a late model street stock is, and it's like, it's kind of cool. They're seeing this kind of new class of car, and it's just exciting to see just this class grow year by year, and maybe it'll start expanding out to a few other tracks in this area and branch out even more in the coming years. Who knows?
I don't know if I got any track owners listening to this down here. We need to bring these guys in.
Bobby Lincoln.
Bobby Lincoln, you're probably listening, buddy. You need to look into this because these things are sweet.
Yes, it's there are street stocks out there. There's I stocks, there's pure stocks, but there's not a late model street stock except for like just in the southeastern South Dakota area. You know what? To see them at US 30, I think would be nice, Bobby. No pressure, by the way.
Yes, sir.
But just to see the class, branch out, I think would be huge, because then it would give the drivers more places to run. And it's like I said, it's not really like a fairly new class, but at the same time, it's not really, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. It's not relatively like that old of a class either, I guess, but it's very interesting to watch. And we got to get Corey I and Tim Dan on the show here too. Those guys, good friends, and they are like the guys to beat in the class as well. We're gonna have to get them on the show one of these days. So Corey and Tim, if you guys are listening, reach out to us if you'd like to be on the show here. We would be more than happy to have you. So yes, this classic car just is nothing short of amazing. We'll just put it that way, and you will hear more about them in the interviews coming up from Evan Miller and from Aaron Foote here. First, we're going to take a quick break and hear from Fort Orange Salvage, and just on the other side of that break, we have the Fort Orange Salvage question of the week. And I think we had a good question this week, Evan, and we will read the answers right after this.
Evicted tenants leave a mess behind? Have an old appliance that you're tired of staring at? Yard waste, branches, carpet, old furniture, other discarded items you just want gone? Well, Fort Orange Salvage can take it all away. Call Jamie at 605-376-8532 for a quote today, or you can find him on Facebook by searching Fort Orange Salvage-Junk Haulers. Contractless payment through Venmo or PayPal is also available. Quick, easy, and affordable junk hauling. Fort Orange Salvage. We pick things up and we take them away. Serving Sioux Falls, South Dakota and surrounding areas.
Back here with the Announcer Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. And yes, cannot say enough about Jamie each and every week in Fort Orange Salvage. They are in the best in the business at what they do. So if you need something picked up and taken away, give Jamie a call there, and he will be more than willing to work with you and help you out the best way that he can. That brings us to the Fort Orange Salvage question of the week this week. And Evan, our question was, what's the craziest decision you've ever made during the off season? And in our video to that, our good friend Greg Hammond, driver of the 29J Sport Mod, said deciding to go to Bristol was his craziest decision. And I'm sure a lot of the drivers that went to Bristol were probably thinking the same thing.
And then I know mine goes along with yours. If you guys seen the video of the question, me and Scotty decided to dye our hair.
Yes, we did. And ironically enough, we had no idea when we did this. So yes, my hair is hot pink. It was, I just wanted something a little different, and also do it for breast cancer awareness as well. Evan went with blue, and come to find out when we showed up at Greg's place last week after recording the show, he's like, yeah, by the way, guys, the colors on the Sport Mod this year are going to be hot pink and blue. I was like, yeah, you're just saying that. He's like, no, that's actually going to be the colors.
We're his biggest fans.
So, yes, Greg's words, not ours. So we were kind of shocked, needless to say. But yeah, things do get crazy in the off season, as you can tell. So we're going to go to Facebook here, and Carrie Jurens, the wife to a hobby stock driver, Brandon Jurens, says to build 2 hobby stocks, but so excited. And Brandon Jurens, racing hobby stock past few years. I used to figure 8 race with the guy, actually, and also raced with him in Sportsman, aka Pure Stock. His son Cam is going to be joining the hobby stock division this year in 2022, so definitely excited to see that. Austin Honeycutt says, probably what I'm doing this offseason, building a brand new hobby stock as well. And Austin Honeycutt moving from the Sport Compact division into the hobby stock division last year. So Austin building a new hobby stock as well.
And still on Facebook, we'll go to my good buddy Jeremy Shell, getting a mohawk for my rookie season in the hobby stocks.
Yes.
He sent me a Snapchat right after that happened, and man, that thing looked good. They did some work on that. It was clean.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Moving over to Instagram now. Let me see here. Solomon Bennett, I believe, as it says, Solomon Racing 20. I once bought a brand new car and didn't tell the wife. 10 out of 10 do not recommend.
You know, they always say ask for forgiveness. I don't know if you can ask for forgiveness on that one.
Asking for forgiveness is easier than asking for permission, is what they say.
That is true, but I don't know if either of them would be. Yikes.
Yeah. Yikes indeed.
Oh, moving over to TikTok. Our good buddy Austin Brands. I don't know about off season, but putting that wolf together in a week in the middle of the season was not fun. Different words than was not fun. But
we are not allowed to repeat those on the air, but I remember Austin putting that car together, and he got it done. He got it done, and Evan, you know just as well, it can be done.
It can be done. It is a lot of long nights, but it can be done. We also got Tyler Myers going from the crash mod to a late model.
Yeah, Tyler.
I see what he did there.
Tyler, you guys will hear next week on the show, actually, going from a B mod to a late model, and that is going to be exciting to see what he can do in a late model in 2022. But yes, a lot of good things coming here in 2022, and a lot of crazy decisions. And Evan, like I said, we made the crazy decision to dye our hair, and that's just to show you how crazy we can actually be. But be sure to stay tuned to our socials for the Fort Orange Salvage question of the week for next week's question. You can find us on TikTok at the Announcers Booth Podcast. You can find us on Facebook as well as the Announcers Booth Podcast, on Twitter, and also Snapchat as well, and Instagram. They will be shared to there later on this week. So that will do it for the Fort Orange Salvage question of the week. We're going to take another quick break here and hear from our title advertiser and Rapid Graphics. And just on the other side of that break, we are going to hear from Evan Miller and how his rookie year in the late model street stock division was.
Rapid Graphics, located in Rock Rapids, Iowa, on the corner of Highway 9 and 75, specialize in graphics and signage of all types. They specialize in indoor and outdoor signage, banners, commercial vehicles, custom logos, race car graphics, and much, much more. Rapid Graphics have the tools to get your job done, and you can find them easily on Facebook at Rapid Graphics 12. For more information, contact Rapid Graphics for all of your custom graphic and signage needs today.
Back here on the Announcer Booth Podcast, presented by Rapid Graphics. And yes, Blake does just a phenomenal job there at Rapid Graphics for all of your custom graphic needs. Cannot say enough about him. Check him out on Facebook at facebook.com/rapidgraphics12. And he does more than that. He does canvas prints, like you heard, decals, T-shirts. He literally does it all. So a big thank you to him as well, and to Fort Orange Salvage for being advertisers on the show. Evan, we're going to go into our first interview here, and it is an all late model street stock show this week. And our first guest, Evan Miller, Rookie of the Year at I-90 Speedway, and Most Improved Driver at I-90 Speedway as well in 2021 in the late model street stock division. We've talked about dedication on the show, and you'll hear this right at the beginning of the interview. This dude is dedicated.
Yes, sir, he is.
Currently going to college in Davenport, Iowa, driving 6 hours every weekend back to Sioux Falls, South Dakota to race at I-90 Speedway and a few nights at Huset's, then driving 6 hours back to school and where his full-time job is. I mean, just wow. Kudos to you, Evan. I know you're listening. And
Hey, thanks. Oh, wrong Evan. My bad.
Confusing me again. I like it. But yes, no, this interview was just to hear how he got into racing and coming from a four-wheeler background and going into first year in the car like he did. I have to say, watching him at I-90 Speedway in person, and as you heard there, Pour and Pray, just very, very well done for a first season in a full-body car.
Oh, yeah. I wish I could have seen it because it sounds like he can wheel that thing.
And wheel that thing he did, including 2-1 feature win at I-90 Speedway. So without further ado, here is the interview with driver of the number 88 late model street stock, Evan Miller. Making his way over to the announce booth now is the driver from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, currently residing in Davenport. And we are talking about the late model street stock driver, Evan Miller, over driving at the I-90 Speedway in Hartford, South Dakota, and Huset Speedway in Brandon, South Dakota. And Evan, you were just telling us before we come on the air here, you're going to college in Davenport, and you drove 6 hours home every weekend just to race on Saturday and Sunday, and then head back to college, what, Sunday night after Huset's or Monday morning?
Yeah, so the nights that I did run Houston, I'd have to make the drive back over the summer, 6.5 hours. And I'd wake up. I wouldn't even get any sleep, actually. I'd just drive 6.5 hours straight through the night, and then I'd go straight into work the nights that I did run Houston. But about every weekend that I wanted to race, I had to leave work Friday night. I'd drive 6.5 hours home, get home at about 10 o'clock after work, and I'd jam on the car for a little bit while I was here till about midnight, and then I'd get up in the morning. We'd go race Saturdays, and then Sundays I'd usually leave around 2 and get back to Davenport and ready for the work week. kind of repeated that process throughout the whole year.
You know, pour and pray, if that's not dedication, I don't know what is.
I couldn't tell you what it is because that's amazing out there.
Oh my goodness. And late model street stocks, I mean, it's a class that everyone's really not used to seeing. They do tour a little bit, but mainly just stick with I-90 Speedway and Houston Speedway. And this was your first year in one of these cars. You come from a was it a four-wheeler racing background, you said?
Yeah, I raced four-wheelers from 2009 to 2016.
And now just hopping into a late model street stock. I mean, it just complete game changer, a lot more horsepower, a full-bodied car. And just to list off a couple stats here, you were Rookie of the Year at I-90 Speedway, Most Improved at I-90 Speedway. You had one feature win in 2021, which was at I-90 Speedway as well. 8 top 5s and 10 top 10s. And I mean, for a first year in a car, and especially a late model street stock, that is not bad at all. Just what was your overall thought process coming into this class, and then your thought process at the end of this 2021 season?
Yeah, grew up coming to Houston with my dad and my mom, watching the racing around there. And me and my dad always kind of gravitated towards the street stock class a lot. And I think I vividly remember around 2013, we watched, I think, Dale Furby win one night. We walked around his car afterwards, checking it out, because little kid loves to walk around in the pits and check out the race cars. And
right.
I think I told my dad, and he told me that we wanted to get into a street stock one day. And, we quit racing quads in 2016 so I could kind of focus on my education, so I could go to college and kind of focus on getting a job in the future, and trying to put racing on the hold. I really wasn't sure what my future would be in it. I did a little bit of enduro racing in 2019, but then, my dad went out, kind of scouted the street stock scene. We went out and watched the race while I was home one night over the summer, and we kind of decided, this is kind of the route we wanted to go, and he kind of started looking and finally pulled the trigger on a street stock for us to run, and kind of sent me a text one night while I was at school of the car on the trailer, and kind of shocked me a little bit. But yeah, I mean, getting into a car from the background that I had, it was pretty intimidating, especially a street stock. I remember the first time I sat in the car and fired it up. Can't lie, I was pretty damn nervous. I drove it down the gravel road for the first time, and I remember getting out after, I put the throttle through the floor a little bit on the gravel road, and my leg, I couldn't keep it from shaking. So I was pretty damn nervous the first couple of races for sure. But once I got that first hot lap session out, it was just kind of all about improvement throughout the whole year, and trying to be consistent and trying to stay safe and trying to learn, try to stay out of the way. And once we got that first race out of the way, it was kind of game on for the rest of the year, trying to get better and get faster.
And especially bringing home that most improved driver in the 2021 season. You're up against guys in this class that are very, very competitive. Of course, we're talking guys like Corey I, Tim Dan, Bill Prouty, Dan Jensen, and just to name a few, Zach Olivier, Colby Clausen, first year in a late model street stock as well. And what was it like racing with these guys? And especially, I know seeing Aaron Foote taking a tumble, as we'll hear later on from him, just did it kind of put a little bit of pressure on you as, oh boy, what did I get myself into? Or was it more, hey, how can I learn from these guys to get better? And then, like I said, ended up taking home the most improved driver in 2021.
Yeah, before the season even started, one of the goals was to grab that Rookie of the Year stat. And, Colby, the way he started off the season, he ran over the class, was doing great every weekend. He did good throughout the entire season, and that was hard to overcome that, the whole year. We ended up sneaking out the Rookie of the Year, and that was awesome. But, that was one of the goals coming in, and just to race side by side with people like him, Corey, Dan Jensen, Zach Olivier, and Tim Dan is an honor every weekend. They're all, really great guys on and off the track. Those are the kind of guys that would give you the shirt off their back to see you race that night. So it's just an honor to race with those guys and learning from them. And they had no problem helping me out every other weekend. Whenever I had tips, help on the car, just things like that. They were never afraid to step in and help out and give me some advice. So it was pretty cool, and I really enjoyed racing with those guys, and I'm really looking forward to it in 2022.
So I'm down here in Nebraska. We don't really know of a street stock late model. So I've kind of got, videos and stuff from Scotty. So you pretty much take a street stock and birth it with a late model. And you get a street stock late model. It's got the nose of a late model?
So technically, no, we don't really run the late model cones. We run more of just like a stock car, Camaro nose bumper, or an old Impala bumper. Kind of what we run sometimes. But I guess street stock to me is probably more of a beefed up stock car than anything. We run almost like a limited late model, but we don't run that late model suspension. We got more horsepower than a stock car, different bodies, and a little bit softer tires, but lets us kind of get hooked up a little bit better and get us moving a little bit better and kind of run with that like limited late model time is what I would think of it.
Alrighty. Yeah, Scotty sent me a couple videos one night and was like, I got to see these for myself.
They're fun to watch.
We don't have anything like that around here.
Yeah, they're fun to watch. I guess the only comparison I could make to them, and Evan, I'm sure you could probably make this comparison too, would be the closest thing that they look like would probably be like a Wasota Super Stock.
Yeah, yep, 100%. I definitely agree with that.
There are differences between the two cars, but like just looking at them side by side, that would be the closest thing I can compare them to. So moving to 2022, you're still in Davenport. Are you coming back on weekends still to like get the car ready for racing season, or what's the season looking like for 2022 for the 88 machine?
Yeah, so 2022 season, I definitely plan on hitting as many races as I can. With me getting a full-time job, I'm going to have to focus on, getting a place to live down there and just focus on some other stuff, but I should be able to make just about every weekend in Hartford, I-90 Speedway for sure. I know I've got a couple of races that I've got prior obligations that I'll have to see what I can do about that. Foote, I'm not sure how much I'll be able to run there. I know I'll be here from May 21st to June 13th when I graduate and then to where I start work. So try to hit those Houston shows if I can. See what we can do, but yeah, I'd like to run, as much of a schedule as I can and get as much time in this car as I can. But I guess in the off season, I haven't been home much, been focusing on classes, but my dad's been here knocking out the car. We've been updating a lot of stuff, and I'm really excited to get the car out and let everybody see what we've been doing and just get ready for a new season and see what we can do.
And as everyone knows, though, too, you could not do this without the help of some great sponsors. What are some sponsors that you'd like to thank?
Yeah, first and foremost, I'd like to thank my parents the most. They sacrificed a lot so I can, do this and have fun every weekend and go out there. And they enjoyed a lot, but my family sacrificed a lot so I can race every weekend. So they're the first ones I got to thank. But then, sponsor-wise, I had a great list of people jump on board my first year that, kind of gave me support and believed in me. And, Sioux Empire Cleaning was a big one. They helped me pick up the suspension last year and helped me out a lot. And there's a great family to work with. I guess other sponsors are Berkey's Barbecue, Parsons Flooring in Sioux Falls, Corduroy and Pixie Dust in Del Rapids, Cruises Pro Shop in Sioux Falls, Mundell Construction, CDR Chassis, and Dan, Brandon Flory, one of my dad's buddies, someone I've worked with before, and then we got some more to come this year that we're ready to announce pretty soon. So working with some people and just ready to get a great list of people on this car this year and really make them proud.
Absolutely, and just could not say enough about the 2021 season. Like we said, Rookie of the Year at I-90 Speedway, as well as Most Improved. 1 feature win, 8 top 5s, 10 top 10s, a stellar rookie year at that, and wish you the best of luck in all your future endeavors there, Evan.
Appreciate it, Scotty. Thanks for having me on the show this time.
Wow. Dedication is the name of the game when it comes to Evan Miller here. It's driving back and forth like that each and every week, and to the one win, the top fives, the top tens, and just the most improved driver and rookie of the year. I mean, wow, dedication at its finest.
Oh yeah, man. Me personally, I don't know if I could be able to drive, 6 hours one way just to go race, to turn around, drive 6 hours back, and go straight to work. No sleep, just straight to work.
I mean, I thought I put on a lot of miles during the 2021 racing season with everything I was doing. Evan Miller, you got me beat, buds. You got me beat, and kudos to you, man, and cannot wait to see what you can do in 2022. We're going to take another quick break here and hear from the Sodak iRacing Series, and right after that, the other late model street stock driver will be on the phone lines, and that is Aaron Foote, driver of the 1X car. And Evan, you and I were talking a little bit off air here, and Aaron, I know you're listening. This dude gets a little crazy in a good way. And he's always seemed to have something up his sleeve, especially when it's coming to the 2022 racing season. So it's going to be exciting to see what he is going to unveil, possibly opening night later on. He really didn't give us much detail, but just with talking with Aaron, he's one of those drivers that is dedicated at what he does as well.
Oh, yeah, he is.
So we're going to hear from Sodak iRacing Series here, and just on the other side of that, the interview with Aaron Foote.
The Sodak iRacing League is the premier iRacing league for drivers, crew members, fans, and sponsors in the tri-state area around South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota. From street stocks to super late models, modifieds to sprint cars, the Sodak iRacing League does them all. You can follow all of their seasons live and free on Advantage Racing TV. For more information, look for Sodak iRacing on Facebook or join the league by searching for Sodak under the Leagues tab on your iRacing account.
Back here at the Announcers Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics and Sodak iRacing Series, just wrapping up in January, and the third season of the Sodak iRacing Series, and third different champion, by the way, as well. Great series. You can find all the stuff, I believe, on their Facebook page, all the past races as well. YouTube even has some, as we were streaming to YouTube this year. Was so glad to be a part of the third season as well as the past two seasons. Very much looking forward to a season 4 whenever that comes out. Evan, I know you watched a few races, and never did you think virtual racing could be so much fun.
When you first started talking about it, it was like, yeah, cool, guys are sitting in front of a computer racing. Woohoo. Then I watched it. I was like, man, I want one of these things.
It really is. And I mean, a lot of the racing is right on the edge of your seat going, oh man, it just nail biting, just like it is at the real track out in the real world.
Oh, it really is.
Really is indeed. We are going to go into our second interview now, and our other late model street stock driver on the phone. This is going to be Aaron Foote, driver of the 1X car. And Aaron had a little bit of a tough year, but managed to work through it, and his dedication to it after the nasty spill that he had early on in the 2021 season, missing 3 races, unfortunately, but still getting back in the car did not slow him down at all. And like we said, Aaron, he is one crazy dude, but in a good way. And you'll definitely hear that in this interview. And going to be trying something different, he says, this season. Doesn't let on to what it is, but knowing Aaron, it's going to be spectacular.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be. I love those that, hey, I'm doing something, but you ain't going to know what.
Yeah, he's keeping it under wraps for now.
Stick around, find out.
Yes, stick around and find out indeed. So without further ado, here is the interview with the one and only Aaron Foote. So making his way to the booth now is another late model street stock driver, and one that competed with Evan Miller, who you just heard from just a few minutes ago. And this one being driver of the 1X car, Aaron Foote. And Aaron, you were just telling us about a little bit of a scary situation that you had midway through the 2021 season at I-90 Speedway. And we're glad that you were able to walk away from that. But now moving on to something different this year. You were kind of telling us about it, but are we going to wait till opening night, or can you kind of give us a little hint on what's going on?
Well, it's a big deal, big purchase. We're trying to somewhat keep it on the down low, but everyone pretty much knows what's going on. But we're trying something new. That's what I'll leave it at.
Fair enough. And you said that you've been driving some Enduros past couple years and hopped into a late model street stock. Like we were talking with Evan, these cars we're really not used to seeing around this area, except for at I-90 Speedway and Houston Speedway. Evan had to ask, well, what a late model street stock is, pour and pray here, and Evan Miller described it a little bit, but in your own words, what is a late model street stock?
Late model street stock to me is, it's bad to the bone, factory suspension, have some fun, a lot of power, and some go fast parts,
Go fast parts. I think that's the best description I've ever heard of a race car, period. Go fast parts. And
go fast parts. Hook up to the go fast button.
Well, if we call them what they actually are, people wouldn't understand.
Right, exactly. But this class is just, like I said, really unique and different, but it's a lot of fun to watch. And you finished top 10 at I-90 Speedway in points and top 10 with the Touring Series. Did you run Husitz at all in 2021? I can't quite remember.
I ran Husitz. I didn't run Husitz right away at the beginning of the year. I waited a couple weeks just because I didn't know anything about. I knew how to drive them and everything, but we didn't. We wanted to somewhat figure the car out a little bit before we brought it over there. Just because there's nowhere to go, and if you get yourself in a sticky situation, there's nowhere for you to go but hit a wall or, So we held off for a couple weeks, and I said, no, I don't want to go racing. I want to go to Houston. So we went to Husitz, and I just started too late over there, and then I missed a few races, with that wreck, and so I just was nowhere near where I could have been in points.
In Husitz, I've heard this from different drivers, whether it be the late model street stocks, and sprint cars, back when they used to run modifieds and hobby stocks there every week. Husitz is a very different track, and usually you go to a track and, it can drive right around the same every week. Husitz changes, and it's really a different track, and it's really, really hard to master.
You hear from a lot of the World of Outlaws guys and their sprint cars, Knoxville will make you famous. Husitz will make you a race car driver, You got to be able to adapt and see where the car is going to go for the night. And Husitz is different every night when you show up. One night it could be really tacky, and the next night it's slicker than a button,
Yeah, and just from watching you guys each and every week, you guys have a lot of competition. Like we were talking with Evan Miller as well, and just what was it like racing with this group of guys in this very unique class?
Well, we all respect each other, and we know that hey, we all got a bunch of money into this, and we're out here to have fun, put on a show. And there'll be nights where some of us will get put into some crappy situations, but we'll man up and we just go, hey, I apologize. It's an awesome group of guys. Anyone there is willing to, if you need a part and you don't have it in the trailer, and you can ask about anyone, see if they have it, and if they have it, they're more than willing to, loan you the part to finish out the night or whatever it be, And it's almost like having a family, second family, you know.
Yeah, indeed. And I can't remember if it was your team or not, but I know there was one team that broke out a welder every now and then. Was that your guys' team, or am I thinking of a different person?
I believe that was Brandon Ferguson, and Brandon, he's been a humongous help for me and my dad, you know, and all his guys there, because every week it was just me and my dad. That's who showed up, and that's who, you know, I'm driving the car. If I had a flat tire, Brandon Ferguson crew was right there with us, and you know, we're a big group of. I mean, we hang out on the weekends now and everything like that. You know, they're always willing to help whoever needs help, you know.
Yeah, and Brandon getting his first street stock win in 2021 as well. And I mean, that had to have been a big night for you guys because, like you said, just helping each other out each and every week. And it really goes back to the respect thing that you were talking about. Everyone respects each other on and off the track. And I think that's just what makes this class so unique. It's a different class of car that no one is really used to seeing. But then all the drivers that are just friends on and off the track, the respect throughout the class is just nothing short of amazing.
Yes, that's very true.
I want to come see these in person, dude.
Well, you can find us. We plan on running all of our touring series shows, and we'll be running Hartford and Huset's every night, weekly, you know. And our number one goal is to be able to drive the car in the trailer or on the trailer every night at the end of the night, and you know, be happy and just be competitive, you know. We don't want to miss any shows for anything so stupid or, you know, so.
You know, I might just bite the bullet and come up there one night and watch it.
Well, you know, I was just going to say, one of your guys' touring series shows just happens to fall on Raceway Park as well.
Yep, we'll be down there. I believe it's July 10th, I believe.
I know where I'm going to be.
And that will be a fun one. It'll be interesting to see, you know, how many people we'll have showing up, you know, and unfortunately it falls on a Sunday night. That's an hour away, you know, but I know I'll be making a trip down there because I went down there and watched one of their races a couple years ago, and I told from then on, I was like, I want to race here. This place is awesome.
And, you know, you say Huset's is a different track. I mean, Raceway Park it's in its own little, I guess, I really don't know. I really can't think of the word of it, but it stands alone by itself, in my opinion. It's a tight, bullring track. And with literally a hill for turn 3. You go up the hill in 3 and you come down in 4. And I've raced that track. It drives so much differently than any track that I used to race on.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I've always heard it described as a toilet bowl. You know, my dad and all of his buddies, they used to run down there, run enduros down there back in the day. You know, they'd drive a car down there, and then they'd have a group of guys and in another vehicle, they'd kick the windshield out of it when they got there, and then they'd go race it, you know. And just hearing the cool stories like that, it just brings joy and makes me want to go down to them places.
Yeah, so to see the late model street stocks in action at the new Raceway Park, that's definitely, I know, one show that I'm looking forward to. Moving on to 2022, Aaron, like I know you said earlier, you're going to be trying something different, but other than that, what is the 2022 season looking like for you, and who are some sponsors that you'd like to thank?
So far in the 2022 season, I've got Foote Axle and Frame. They'll be a returning sponsor for me. Freeze Tree Experts, How Heating and Plumbing, Sioux Falls Commercial Cleaning, and we're trying to finalize on a couple other ones here and short bit. And we plan on, like I said, we're going to plan on running every race that we can, you know, getting to all of them, because I know we got a couple at Rock Rapids, the one down at Raceway Park, and I think we go over to Murray County Speedway, and you know, and then we'll Hartford and Huset's. We plan on being there every night, every weekend. So,
Well, it definitely sounds like you're going to be keeping yourself busy, not only in the off season, but during the regular season as well. And can't thank you enough for being on the show, man. And good luck here in 2022.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
I got to tell you, Evan, Aaron he's full of surprises, isn't he?
Oh, he is.
Full of surprises, but in a good way, and like we said, crazy in a good way too. And just the friendships that he was able to build over this season, and the help that he had on and off the track, and just keeping it in the family. And that's what I love about this sport. It's a family sport. Everyone gets involved, and it truly is an amazing thing when the racing family comes together.
Oh yeah, we talk about it all the time about how racing's a family, and it's been in the family, but until you're in the racing family, you don't understand it.
No, and I don't really expect anyone to understand it unless they've really been involved in it. And even the race fans, as a family too, it's they come together, but you really don't understand like the extent of it until you're like a crew guy or a driver, or that way involved. Then the meaning of racing family really comes together.
I didn't really ever understand it until myself. I started driving. Like, yeah, I've pitted since 2013 for my buddy. I still didn't really understand it. I started racing. Cars broke. I run into things. Tires pop. When you got 3-4 different guys running from different crews to come help fix that flat tire, or tearing that body panel off that just got halfway ripped off, that's the family that we're talking about.
Yes,
the guys that will drop anything to help anybody. It's truly amazing.
Yes, it is. And just all the help that Aaron got after we said that nasty spill that he took early on in the season, just to get him back on track. Unfortunately, having him miss 3 races, and Aaron, we're so glad to see that you were okay after that wreck. But yes, the racing family just truly very, very helpful and inspirational at the same time. We're going to take another break here and hear from the Advantage Racing TV and AOK Photography and Design. And just on the other side of that break, we will let you know what's happening next week on the Announcer's Booth podcast. So be sure and stay tuned for that.
Advantage Racing TV is your source for local entertainment in the tri-state area. From compacts to late models and sprint cars, Advantage Racing TV has just what you need to cure your racing ailments. Check them out online at www.advantageracing.tv and take advantage of your racing addiction.
AOK Photography and Design is the place for all your photo needs. AOK does racing hero cards, blankets, canvas, racing sponsor photos, as well as other personalized items. Located out of Montevideo, Minnesota, they can get what you need at an affordable price. Check them out on Facebook for more information, and you'll find that their guaranteed service is AOK.
Scotty Too Hottie and Evan Pornprey back here on the Announcer Booth podcast, presented by Rapid Graphics and Advantage Racing TV and AOK Photography and Design. Both produce quality products. AOK Photography doing a lot of hero cards and calendars and whatnot, and Advantage Racing TV producing great quality content of dirt track racing all throughout the regions here, even some out regions too, and working for other videographers as well. Cannot say enough about them, and a big thank you for them, along with Sodak iRacing Series, for Orange Salvage, and Rapid Graphics, the title advertiser. Thank you all for advertising here on the Announcers Booth podcast. Evan, next week on the show, we have got a modified turning late model driver, Tyler Myers, on the show, and also 305 sprint car driver Brandon Bosma on the show as well. And these guys both have incredible stories. Talking with Tyler already, we'll just give our listeners just a little sneak peek at this interview here. But Tyler, he has got especially some very good stats coming into his first year in a late model, and coming from a modified background, and he definitely knew how to get it done the modified.
Oh yeah, he did. His stats are incredible, man. Wow.
And we were just talking about a racing family, and his family is, he's racing with his brother and their dad as the crew chief as well. That's one interview I am definitely looking forward to next week, as well as Brandon Bosma, 305 sprint car driver, and he's got some pretty impressive stats too. So driver out of Rock Rapids, Iowa. Can't wait to talk with him as well. So that will be happening next week on the Announce Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. Also, be sure to stay tuned to our social media networks for the Fort Orange Salvage question of the week. And if there's any topics that you would like to hear us talk about, be sure to send us a message on Facebook, TikTok, or wherever you follow us on. And yeah, we will be more than happy to cover some topics that our listeners would like us to cover. And yeah, well, we just love doing this for you guys. I know we say this all the time. Thank you for tuning in each and every week. But you race fans and listeners, you're the reason why we do this. And Evan, we really love bringing everyone the stories from the road and just from all these different drivers each and every week.
Oh, yeah, man. When I jumped on board with you, I was like, okay, we're going to have a couple of listeners here and there. Then I started looking at, how many downloads we get, and people, I gotta say, all around the world listening. We've gone outside of the United States.
Yes.
So honestly, thank you guys so much for this. We wouldn't be anything without you guys.
We never thought how big and how broad this show would get. And like you said, Evan, all around the world, we have listeners from the United Kingdom. We have listeners, just all over Europe and, even in the Middle East and everything, Japan and across the United States and even some in South America. We have reached all corners of the globe. We have yet to reach the North and South poles, but I'm sure we'll get there eventually. But you guys listening and tuning in each and every week from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. We are having a lot of fun doing this, and we could not do this without you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Want to say a big thank you to Evan Miller and Aaron Foote for being on the show today, and good luck to you gentlemen in 2022 with the Late Model Street Stock Touring Series. I want to say a big thank you to Matthew Broadus, Jerry Van Sickle, and Sean Neistat for helping out with the show each and every week. And like we said, to you, the listeners and race fans, for tuning in each and every week. We love you, and we cannot thank you enough. And Evan, thanks for co-hosting with me each and every week, man. Really, really appreciate it.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on here. This has been a blast so far. Let's keep doing it.
Absolutely. Evan, take us home like you usually do.
Hey, like I usually say, stay safe, stay kind. We'll see you next week.
We will see you next week with Tyler Myers and Brandon Bosma. Until then, take care, everybody.